So in business news today, Adobe just acquired Figma for $20 billion. And if you're not familiar with Figma, it's essentially a collaborative workspace in which you can create designs, workflows, prototypes, and so much more for your business, company, app, etc. And it's an extremely powerful tool, and the best part about it was that it was completely free. So a lot of people are a little bit concerned about Adobe acquiring Figma, and they're trying to figure out what that means for the application. Now, it is rumored that Figma will be bundled into the Adobe Creative Suite at some point, obviously meaning that it would not be free anymore. So people are not super happy about that, but we don't really know yet. So I'm interested to see where Adobe takes this. And obviously this news just dropped pretty recently, so there's not too much information about it other than the fact that they've decided to purchase it. But there was an interview with Adobe's CEO just yesterday where he talks a little bit about why he chose to acquire Figma and what he plans on doing with it. So let's check that out.
It's a great treat to have you, Shantanu, and I want to get right at it because you've got earnings that are solid, but you've got a deal that is going to, I think, transform the company because, once again, you care tremendously about creativity. You care about wonderment, the mind, how people can change.
This dude cracks me up. The entire interview is so funny.
Let's talk Figma and why it's worth $20 billion.
Well, Jim, it's always great to be on your show, and this is a really exciting and transformative day for Adobe. When you think about what's happening in the world of collaborative creativity,
I think they just did him so dirty here. It's like he's saying this is the most exciting day for Adobe and so much amazing stuff's going to happen. And they're like, yeah, well, your stock is down 12%, which it has taken a pretty rough tumble. And I think they're going to talk about that a little bit more throughout the interview where, it was rising in the $600-700 level per share. And now it's all the way down to like $330. So pretty steep difference. But it's going to be interesting just to see how Adobe's CEO talks a little bit about how he expects that maybe this acquisition is going to help that stock and help his shares go back up. So see what he's got to say.
It's very clear that every single person has a story to tell. And when you think about the entire world of anybody who's trying to create a mobile app, trying to create an interactive web experience, trying to do things that are exciting in terms of how they collaborate and ideate, we believe that the combination of Adobe and Figma is going to be one of these unique combinations that completely ushers in a new era of collaborative creativity.
Okay, so I like how he used the word combination. I was a little bit worried, I think, along with a lot of other people, that Figma is going to be dissolved by Adobe because they do have Adobe XD, and there was a lot of concern over the fact that maybe they were just buying Figma because they got the money to do so, and they just wanted to kill the competition. But this makes it sound like they're looking to be a lot more collaborative and actually utilize Figma, so that's a really good sign for people who really like using Figma.
Now, I know, as you know, I care passionately about your stock, and
he's just like, Mr. CEO, I care so much about your stock.
earlier, right when the Fed started getting tight, your stock was at 700. It's dropped now, probably going to look like 330. This company that you're buying was valued at about $10 billion in June of last year. Now you're paying 20. Can you?
Okay, interesting point there that the stock was at about $700. Now it's at $330. And in that same time frame, Figma used to be worth $10 billion, and now it's worth $20 billion. So it's a good question by the interviewer. I mean, he's essentially just saying, how can you justify this purchase where it's such a drastic difference in the price of Figma and such a drastic difference in the price of the Adobe shares?
You rationalize what's happening in the stock market versus what's happening at Adobe.
Well, let's talk about Adobe, Jim. And, Figma is actually one of these rare companies that has achieved incredible escape velocity. They have a fabulous product that appeals to millions of people. They have escape velocity as it relates to their financial performance, and a profitable company, which is very rare, as you know, in software as a service companies. And while they are a rare company, the ability to put together that as well as a company like Adobe is even rarer in terms of how we can both harness as well as accelerate that business. So, from our perspective, when you think about it from the perspective of shareholders, which was your question, we really believe that the combination, whether it's creating this new world of creativity and productivity, it's what we can do as it relates to accelerating creativity on the web, inspiring an entire new generation of designers and developers and stakeholders, it is going to be a great value for their shareholders as well as Adobe's shareholders.
Talks pretty big game on that. Essentially just saying that this collaboration is not only going to help Adobe, but also help Figma shareholders. So now I'm still trying to figure out if this is something where they're completely absorbing Figma and it's becoming a part of Adobe, maybe a part of the Adobe Creative Suite, or if they're letting it be their own thing, but they just wanted it to be under their Adobe name. I don't really know, but that's going to be a question that's going to be interesting to get the answer to in the next couple of weeks.
I know it's tremendous retention, and along with your company, but I guess what I'm trying to go at, look, you know internet commerce better than anyone I speak to. And when I look at how your stock's trading, it's almost as if you were internet commerce part of the bubble that came from COVID when people worked at home, and now somehow internet commerce must be slowing or your stock wouldn't be going down. Isn't that completely untrue?
You're right. I mean, when you look at our quarterly results as well, and if you look at it even relative to what we had said at the beginning of the year, Jim, I mean, the company is really executing. We had strong Q3 results. When you look at our creative business, the creative business grew 16%. We've exceeded over 13 billion in ARR, which is a record. The document business and everything associated with Acrobat grew north of 20%, and powering digital businesses, which is enabling any business anywhere in the world, as you said, to engage in commerce, engage with their digital customers, is also growing double digits. So you put them.
Okay, I will say that the fact that their creative department's growing by 16%, that's impressive. And that's good to hear because that means that Figma's obviously going into that creative department. Hopefully, they'll be able to kind of reap some of the benefits of that and its growth. So while Adobe's share is down pretty bad right now, at least the creative side of Adobe is still performing well.
All together, and we clearly are in rarefied atmosphere. As it relates to the stock market, I think if you look at all of tech, certainly all of tech has perhaps been impacted a little bit by the macroeconomic environment. But we're focused on the next few decades, and we continue to believe that Adobe is great value. Our best days are ahead of us, and it's up to us to go demonstrate how we can drive both top line growth as well as profitability on the bottom line.
All right. I mean, yeah, there you have it. That was Adobe's CEO talking about the Figma acquisition. Now, obviously, he's incredibly biased. I mean, he is the CEO of Adobe. So, yes, he's going to say that it's a great thing and that everybody's shares and stocks are going to go up and every single thing is going to be great and all the customers are going to love having Figma with Adobe. Obviously, he's going to be biased, but we don't really know how this is going to play out just yet. But I think it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I know a lot of people are upset because Figma was free and it was such an amazing application, and now it's jumping into Adobe, so it's most likely going to be paid. And I'm not saying that from a point of fact. I'm just saying that that's what I assume is going to happen. But either way, I think it's just going to be interesting to see. I want to know in the comment section, how do you guys think this is going to play out? Do you think that Figma moving in with Adobe is going to be something great for both platforms, or do you think they're going to kind of sneakily even try and dissolve Figma and just make Adobe XD the #1 collaborative workspace platform? Please let me know down in the comments below. I really want to know what you guys think about it. For me personally, I'm just going to kind of sit back and see where they take everything. I mean, I use Adobe all the time, and so I'm excited for Figma to be a part of it, only because it'd be nice to have that kind of roped in and see what kind of integration I can have through that. But I know it's different for everybody depending on what you work with and what you like. But guys, that's essentially all we know about Adobe acquiring Figma. If you like the video and you like the news that we're putting out, make sure to drop a like. It definitely helps out our channel a bunch. And if you love videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We post videos just about every week talking about all things tech, crypto, NFTs, Web3, and so much more. And as always, guys, make sure you guys join Entra. We are a Web3 professional network. You guys should definitely join. We're getting a bunch of new users in right now, so this is totally the time to come in, make your free account, and start connecting with other like-minded people. But with that being said, guys, I'm Brody from Entra, the Web3 professional network, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.